Tantrums are one of the most challenging parts of parenting, and even the calmest, most patient adults can feel their inner volcano bubbling when a child suddenly melts down over the wrong color cup or because their sock feels weird. But what many parents don't realize is that tantrums aren't manipulative or intentional. Tantrums are simply a young brain overwhelmed by emotion. Kids don't tantrum because they want to cause chaos. They tantrum because they don't yet have the skills to manage frustration, disappointment, or sudden changes. The emotional part of the brain, especially in toddlers and young children, develops much faster than the logical part, which means kids can feel big emotions long before they can understand or control them. When a tantrum erupts, it's actually the child's nervous system saying, "This is too much for me, and I don't know how to handle it." Knowing this helps parents shift from taking the behavior personally to seeing it as a moment where the child needs support rather than punishment. During a tantrum, the child's brain is in a fight or flight mode, so reasoning, lecturing, or demanding them to stop crying right now won't work. They literally cannot access the part of their brain required to listen or follow instructions until they calm down. Our job isn't to end the tantrum instantly. It's to guide the child back to calm so they can regain control. The first step is always maintaining your own calm, even though that can feel impossible when your child is screaming at full volume. Children borrow emotional regulation from the adults around them. If we escalate, they escalate more. But when we stay calm, steady, and grounded, it signals safety to their overwhelmed brain. This doesn't mean you have to be a robot with no feelings. It means you model the calm you want them to learn. Sometimes, that looks like taking a slow breath before responding, lowering your voice intentionally, or reminding yourself that this is temporary, not a personal attack. Getting physically close to your child while staying emotionally steady can make a huge difference. Being at eye level, offering a gentle touch if they accept it, or simply sitting beside them lets them feel your presence without pressure. You don't need to talk too much. During a tantrum, fewer words are more effective. A calm phrase like "I'm here," "You're safe," or "I know this is really hard," can soothe the nervous system far more than a long explanation. Understanding triggers also helps. Many tantrums happen because of hunger, tiredness, overstimulation, or unexpected transitions. A tired child doesn't have the bandwidth to handle frustration. A hungry child reacts more intensely to small problems. And a child who is overstimulated after school, after a loud event, or after too much screen time may be wired and unable to regulate. Recognizing these patterns allows you to prevent some tantrums before they start. For example, giving consistent transition warnings, like 5 minutes until we leave the playground, gives kids time to shift mentally. Keeping snacks handy, building calm downtime into the day, and noticing early signs of overwhelm can reduce the frequency and intensity of tantrums. But even with perfect prevention, tantrums will still happen because they are a normal part of childhood development. When the tantrum is in full swing, staying with your child shows them they're not alone in their big emotions. You don't have to fix the problem immediately. Sometimes the goal is simply to weather the storm together. When your child begins to settle, that's when the logical part of their brain starts to switch back on, and that's your moment to guide. Use simple validating language, like, "You were really upset because you wanted the toy," or "It's okay to feel angry, and I'm here to help you." Validation doesn't mean agreeing. It means acknowledging their emotion so they feel understood. Once calm, you can introduce gentle limits. It's okay to feel angry, but it's not okay to hit. Let's find a safer way to show big feelings. Teaching alternative behaviors, deep breaths, squeezing a pillow, asking for help, equips them with tools for the future. Preventing the cycle afterward is just as important. Children learn from warm, consistent boundaries. When they see that you respond to their big emotions with steadiness rather than fear or anger, they gradually internalize the same ability. And remember, your calm is the most powerful tool you have. Not because it magically stops tantrums, but because it helps your child feel safe enough to come back to calm themselves. Every tantrum your child has survived with your support is a tiny lesson in emotional regulation. A skill they're slowly building with your guidance. So the next time your child throws themselves on the floor or bursts into tears over something small, pause and remind yourself, this is not defiance, this is overwhelm. And you have the power to be the calm center of their storm, helping them find their way back to peace, one tantrum at a time.